Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am Michael, and I am here. I got some music playing. Gonna try to shake up the vibe a little bit, keep it kind of chill and easy. I like music when I'm going. I kind of think it might help with the flow of programming, but gonna be programming every day here until I actually feel something. You know, need to stay on the grind, and I'm gonna actually get the series kicked off here and really try and program every day. I've been slacking lately, but I put up a video today going over another Python crash course, try it yourself problem from chapter 2. Be sure to check that out if you haven't yet. It's really good tools in there to solidify your knowledge about Python methods and functions. That's what I'm using it for. But I'm working on a little side project here that I've been working on, and the music we're listening to today is the Gaming Lo-Fi Hip Hop Beats here by Moonsoul on YouTube. If it's too loud, be sure to let me know, but let's go ahead and pull up the chat just in case anyone gets in here. Gotcha. Alright, cool guys. We are, so I'm creating a task tracker app here. It's object oriented, so I got a task class file here. We're currently using datetime. We're using the delta time delta element, which basically just converts, a day, a date into a, an integer almost that can be worked with for mathematical operations. So it's a fairly basic task, but it's pretty cool in my opinion because I currently have some parameters such as a priority rating. This priority rating really determines the factor of how your inputs are being handled and stored uh, in your task list. So to just trying to give a general idea is, and it's based on the date. So I've got this class, and it takes in just two parameters that can be given when you initiate the an object of the task class. Some water. Alright, so when we initialize it, obviously we give it self. When we create an instance of any kind of task and import this, we're given a blank list of tasks. The I need to turn this down just slightly for me. Here we go. Turn it up for this tree maybe a little bit. There we go. So when we initialize, you give a class title, and then you give a days to complete in the form of an integer. Now this days to complete is important because upon generation of an instance, sorry, need some water. Getting I've talked all day, been quiet. But when we create an instance of a task or create a new task to our list, we automatically create this variable days to complete, right? And the title, but we also create using the datetime class that we imported, or library, sorry, that we imported. We create the current date that the task was made, and we use that information to then create a new variable called due date, which is just the days to complete time delta. So the days to complete, I would give it 5 days to complete. Well, this would convert 5 days into a time delta of that can be added to a date, and then obviously the date that was created. So 5 days from the date that was created is the date that's due. And so depending on the date that you have days to complete, it's set a priority rating. Now, these priority ratings are somewhat arbitrary and as of lately, because I found that I'm sorting right now using a class method of sort tasks here. I'm sorting using that class method, but I'm sorting based on the priority of the tasks. Um, Now, right, that's my parameter here of my sorted function. But I then need to sort again uh, based on the individual priorities because th- once it's sorted based on one, priority two, priority three, well, all of the priority ones then need to be sorted accordingly to when, you know, whatever parameter, because currently it could have a because my priority is being set between 1 and 3 days, 4 and 7 days, or 4 and 6 days, um, and then anything above 7 and above is priority rated 3. But anything that shares this priority rating can be between 1, 2, or 3 days. But technically, if entered in by the user, the priority rate not a priority, something with a priority rating of 1 is entered in by the user, then and now it had 3 days to complete. Well, then another task was entered that had 1 day to complete. Well, it would not sort, if that makes any sense. I am yeah. Water. So there's an easy fix to this. Is I don't want to sort based on priority, right? If I sort based on priority, I'm gonna have to do a double sort. So the easy thing to do is just sort on, not on priority, but on the days to complete, right? Yes. So that should, in hopefully, right, days to complete. So now I also have this going to a CSV, which is pretty cool. It's the first time I've actually implemented reading CSV and then overwriting and saving over. I have that done with this method here. So I have two class methods. I have load task file and I have save task file. So when we load the task file, when we use this instance method, or class method rather, sorry, we try to open our task.csv file as reader, and then for new lines we just blank them out. Then we open this as variable file. So the reader, we read the file with the CSV reader, right? Our content is inside this reader. So I want to use next reader to skip over the initial line, right? Because I have this title in case the user ever wants to come in and read this directly. Or this header. So it skips the header, and then for content in the reader, there will be content because we don't want to say if content. We can call a write, right? If this somehow gets deleted, we can call a write to write in the header. That might be an option. So let's put that in for a potential fail safe. We'll just make a little note here for content in reader if content. Say if content do below, else call a writer function to write the header for a blank CSV detection. Right? So this is something we need to do here. We'll move on for now. So let me continue. So if for content in the reader, so for all the content in our reader, which has all of our stuff in it, we want to assign the task title to content 0, content column 0, right? And we want to assign days to complete variable to whatever value is in the int integer content index of 4. So basically what that means is it's going to loop through every row here, right? The reader is in rows. Boom, 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 boom. And it's going to detect the title right here. It's gonna save this as a variable, task title, and then it's gonna detect days to complete in spot 4. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, index 4, right? So and then it's gonna assign that to days to complete. So we're just kind of reading that data off of that file. We're reading those, and then we are creating a class instance with that information, right? And that automatically gets stored when created in our task list. So it's working pretty good so far. Let's do like an example here. I will just let me just take off some of these. So if I run the main function, right, this is what I get. Would you like to open Task Tracker 1.0 by Michael Deming? Well, yes, I would. Let's go ahead and open that. Let me go ahead and turn on the music a little bit. Kind of loud. We'll open. So we want to add new task. So we'll come in and do 1. Let's add a new task. We'll give it a task title. So I already have, let's do the dishes, right? How many days would we like to complete? Let's do 5 days to complete this task. All right, we can go ahead and view all of our tasks here. And this is now ordering them by date. By due date. But it's not, it's doing it by days to complete, which would be equal to due date in theory. So then if we add a new task, let's say task title, what would our task title be? We have clean and we have do the dishes, so let's do I don't know, homework. Days to complete, let's give it a 3 here. Right? Now if we view, we should have a priority rating of 1 for clean. Homework comes next for 1 because it's 3 days, and then do dishes because it's priority 2. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add one more task. We want to do code. How many days? This will be 2 days. So if this comes after homework, it's not working. If this gets sorted in between homework, it's working. So now we'll view. Clean code homework. Nice. So we're automatically sorting based on the days to complete now, which is what we wanted, rather than by the priority, because days 1, 2, and 3 to complete share the same priority. So technically a day 2 could become before a day 3. And we want the closest day to come first. The priority is just kind of visual to group multiple things together, and maybe what we can do is create some new lists where if we want to only prioritize the highest rated priorities and display those only, well, we have to, we could have lists, append all of them, and then display that list. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so what is next? So if until files found, what happens if I rename this? Right? I do something crazy. .123.csv. I exit this. Okay, so you automatically open up a task CSV with open. So is there really any need for an error check? Is there really any need for a file not found error when? Is there really any need for a file not when using with open, as it will auto create the file? When using open in Python with write or append modes, a file is needed to automatically. A file is indeed created automatically if it doesn't already exist. In the case of a file not found, error won't occur because Python will create the file for you. However, when you open a file in read mode, Python expects the file to exist. If it doesn't, you'll encounter a file not found error. The error is important to read operations because you need to ensure that the file exists before attempting to access its contents. So, okay. So then if I go here, rename just to 123 CSV, go to my main function here and run, it won't be able to, I don't think. It ran. So it didn't say it's using a new file. Now if I exit, it gives us it. Try and open this. Exit file not found error. What? It's creating it, so it doesn't make any sense. It's writing it too. I'm not even sure if I really need it then. I thought I would, but whatever. So, what's next? We have so we'll just come back to that. So we have add task. We need to I kind of want to get rid of delete task and just make it a part of edit task. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So we're going to remove delete task here. Put an edit task list. Edit task list. Could have another menu for delete task list, clear, delete task. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of this guy entirely. Make this 3, make this 4. Make this 4, make this 3. Get rid of this. Right? Cool, so that should work now for our new menu. Add new task, edit task list, and view tasks. View task list. So let's do the edit task list here. So when we press 2, we want to run edit task, right? We want to perform this function, edit task. We need to be more specific because eventually we will have an individual edit task, so edit task list to be more specific. We're going to task.sort the tasks afterwards, and we're going to continue the prompts. So we need to do this edit task function. So let's do def edit task, and we are going to, let's do cow say dot cow, let's edit, not edit task, right? cowstate.cow. Let's edit. Let's edit the task list, right? So Mr. Cow is going to pop up and say that. And then we want to have a while loop here. So, because we want to add another menu for tasking or for prompting. Not that we're going to ask for individual prompts, but we're going to ask for individual inputs for another menu system, basically. So let's just copy our user in menu here down. It's really basic. I'll just go over real quick. I'm just getting a user input. I'm using the input function. I'm asking, using a bunch of F strings, boom, 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 5 rows. Please select from the following options. I'm just kind of using these F strings to strategically to display visually here what it would look like in the prompt. And as you can see here, this is what it would look like. So for these individual elements here, so we need to just say pass here, pass here, pass, and then one more time, this really doesn't matter, but pass. So please select from the following options. How would you like to edit the task list, right? How would you like to edit the task list? We'll do a new line here. We will do please select from the following options, right? Options, cool. Just to keep it consistent with the F-string format for you guys, do this right here. There you go. All right, so we select from the following. I'm going to add in just another new line here to kind of make this more of a header for this prompt list, just to make it a little bit more distinguished. So there will be a space actually in between these two lines now. So if the user press 1, we would like to say they want to edit individual task. Right. Spell that right? I can't spell it. In case of opening. No. Did I spell that right? I didn't spell that right. Looks like even does. We spelled that right. Individual. Okay. All right. So edit individual to edit a task. Let's edit a task. Um, edit task. Edit task. What else would I like to do? Obviously, we want to like clear task list, right? If we want to remove all of the tasks in our task list. But then what would option 2 be? What would option 2 be? We have edit individual task, clear tasks. How else would we want to edit the task list? Remove a task, right? Simple. So just edit task, remove task, clear task list. Cool. So now we can do all these various other functions down below for these, like edit task. So we can do edit task down here, do task dot sort tasks. No, but we're gonna return and sort after the edit. So we don't need to sort down here again. Okay. This is gonna be function remove task, simply. And this is gonna be function clear task list, right? Keeping everything pretty simple here. And then this one we would want to say we want to break. This will be continue. We'll continue prompting through this while loop after we resolve this function call. But if we hit 4, obviously we're going to exit and break out of this while loop, which will, end the edit tasks function, and then continue the loop within our run system. Cool. Very nice. So let's come down here. We need to define a few more tasks. Or not tasks, functions. So let's def edit task. Within our edit task, we need to offer, we need to present the task to edit. And currently we're displaying tasks in a list form, so we need to index into tasks list and access the list on display. So to edit tasks list, we need to first display the tasks. So let's call existing tasks. No. We just want to print the list. right? We want to print our tasks list, and then that will display the tasks, and we want to prompt task to edit. Right, so this is then going to be converted. We need to convert this to integer. Set it equal to the task we want to edit in the list is going to return an index value as a string. We need to convert it to integer. So let's just, we'll not do that prematurely. We're going to take input. We're going to say which task would you like to edit? So this will display the tasks list, and we will distinctively know, you and I, that we need to choose between the order of the list. But when we display the tasks, we will actually use a different function to show them in an ordered format of 1 edit task, 2, 3 tasks, 4 tasks, 5 tasks. Ooh, excuse me. So which task would you like to edit? Like so, right? So get task 1, task 2. Try and get input from the user. Want to try and get input from the integer, or from the input from the user, except they give a value error. We want to Right, so we'll print a class and we'll enter this loop. So we'll try and get input from the user for a 1, 2, 3, a indexed list. Plus 1, right? Is that what you do? I can't remember for the walrus operator if that works or not. So this will get the index. The user wants to edit, right? So let me comment this. Comment this. Where's my error? So let's run. I want to edit task list. Let's edit task list. Edit task. Task 1. So we want to get the task. We want to do int we want to integer this. God. And then we want to integer this and set it plus equal to 1. Right? No, we want, so if the input user puts in 1, we want to find in the first one in the list. So this equals to, known as minus equals to 1, right? So we want to subtract down on the integer, on the task list index to get our actual value of the right? So we get task to edit. Nice one. And then what would we do from here? We have stored in our task to edit index. I'm gonna do that. That's it. Okay, I'm scoofing around now. Okay, so the task to edit index, which task would you like to edit? We get the index, so let's say, oh, I want the first one. Well, it's not actually the first one, it's the 0 one, or the second one is the first one, so we go down, we edit that. Right. And then we what will we do with this? Think. What would we do with this? We would receive the variable index, and we need to access the task list task with that index. So task to edit is equal to yeah, task to edit is equal to task dot tasks with an index of task to edit index, right? So that gives us all the data value of that gives us the class. Task to edit. Let's say adjusted, right? I want to keep this nice and clear. How would I do this in one line? How I write this in one line? To write that coding system, you can provide adjustments to the type conversion. Oh, it's just -1. Stupid. So now that gives us our task to edit, right? So now what do we want to do with this? We can edit the individual parameters. We have self dot property, right? Self dot or priority. So we want to edit the title. Why are we in a loop? Why am I in a loop? Why am I in a loop? Brain's turning off here. Why am I in a loop? Should I be in a loop? I don't want to be in a loop. Yes, I do. So in my accept statement, I want to print select these printer. is enter the task or exact number, and then we're going to continue the while loop. So we don't need to be in our loop for any of this. So we'll break here. Paste. Alright. So we'll try to get some input. If it doesn't work, we'll just keep looping and get it, and then we'll break for a value error. We're going to afternoon jazz now. This should be interesting. So
Your skin is the largest organ of your body. The lightweight moisturization of Old Spice lotion
if
is like
we
into a glamorous vacation.
okay, back to this. So now we break out of that try except statement, the loop that we placed it in, and then we need to task and adjusted. Now we have access to the actual task here, index of the task within the list. So then what we want to do is create another loop. Right? We want to get some input. So I'll create that later. User input is equal to the inputs for there. I don't want to actually put this in my try statement. I want it in my loop though. There. So there we go. So we'll get user input. Please select a task parameter to edit. Right? And then come here. We'll take option 1. We want a new line here. Right. We want to say task title. If we want to do 2, will be a task days to complete, right? And then we'll close this. Right? So we'll get user input. If user input is equal to 1, we want to title edit is equal to title edit is equal to input new task title. Right. We'll get a new title to edit, and then title to edit, task title. What do we want to do with that task title to edit? That'll give it to us in terms of a string. We want to insert that directly into So I'm formatting so then once we reassign the task to edit.task title is equal to this, what do we want to do? Continue. Feeling this. So now that we get that, just need to append it. Okay. I think I'm ready to test here. Let's try it. So one, let's add a task. Let's do code. Already exists. Okay, let's do clean. Let's do 5 days to clean. Let's view all our tasks. That exited. Shoot. I in the habit of doing that. So let's rerun here. Luckily we saved, so we can press view. So we have code priority 1, created today, due tomorrow. Clean priority 2, due date create, due 5 days from now. So then let's go ahead and edit. How would you like to edit? Let's edit the task list. How would you like to edit the task list? Please select from the following options. We want to edit a task with 1. Which task would you like to edit? One. Ooh, we broke here. We broke. We got back. Okay, so task has an entry. Task viewing tasks. Ooh, yes, probably. Typo somewhere on here. And 36. It's main. Okay, I think that'll solve that problem. It's clear. Let's run again. Yes, let's edit tasks. I want to edit tasks. Edit task. Which task would I like to edit? Let's edit number 1. Please and select a task parameter. Edit. Task title. Right. Please select a parameter. Edit task title. Oh. Am I doing that up here? Did I quote? No, I did quote. Right. Okay, so we're back in here. Debugging. So let's add we have our tasks. Let's view them. So we are 2 tasks. Got it. Let's go ahead and edit the task with 2. Let's edit a task. Which task? Let's edit the first task. Let's edit the task title. New task title. New code title. All right. New. That's not edit. Task title. Got a typo again here. title. Okay, that should resolve that. Debug. Let's go try that again. One here. View with 3. Okay, edit with 2. Edit with 1. Which one? Let's do number 1. Let's edit the task title. New task title would be new code task. Task to edit. Task. Task title. How would we go about this? With replace? So there's no attribute. How can you access a class perimeter and override it with a new value? I was doing it right with the dot. So what's my error? let's just put that there and see what happens. If I can get it to print the task to edit. Okay. It's just successfully selected the task I want to edit with there. Now task to edit dot task title. I do. Oh, it's title. Right, it's like that. That's my problem. I had it right. Oh shit. We want to edit. What would you like to do? Let's edit task. Oh, I gave the wrong thing. I wanted to also change this. This one's nice. I like this one. Oh. Let's edit a task. Let's edit a task. Let's edit the first task. Let's change the title. New code. Title. Let's exit. Exit. View. No. Did not work. Did not work. Use a drop plays. No, I want this. Oh, so it's equal. Set it equal to. Okay, like so. So then, if we do, bring up my desk a little bit here. So then if we do, we need to clear this. Yeah. So we want to add an, let's edit task.
With Asana, AI teammates can help level up your goals by connecting them to relevant projects, so every team knows their role in the bigger picture. Asana, the #1 AI work management platform. Try for free today at asana.com.
Just roll. There we go. Okay, let's exit. Let's re-enter the system. Edit task. Edit task list. Add the first task. Task title. New title. 3, 4, 3. Yes! Boom! Got it. Let's go. Sorry if you headphone people. We did that. Okay, so let's go edit task list again. Let's edit a task. Which one? Let's edit the first one. Let's edit the days to complete. Let's set it to 10. So now it should swap places with the other function. Boom. So now go 3, 4, 3. Create a good edit test. Yes! Oh, I'm such a loser. This makes me excited. Okay, so recap here. This was a very productive hour and a half, but let me go ahead and make things a little smaller. Okay, so what I implemented was for this session was I adjusted our original system menu to be to just an overarching edit task list option rather than remove everything in one list up to like 9 or 10 options here. So we'll have it embedded in a separate menu for editing tasks, more specifically tertiary or secondary options. So if we go ahead and actually select the option 2 here, what's going to happen is we're going to run the edit task list function. We're going to then sort the list of tasks, and then we're going to continue prompting this list. Now let's go ahead and check out what's actually happening in the edit task list function here. So when we first open the function or run the function, we display let's edit the tasks list via cowsay, just a cute little message. And then we run this while loop where we have an input for where how would you like to edit the task list, and then please select from the following options. It gives you another menu, so you can edit a task, you can remove a task, you can clear the task list, and then you can obviously exit. So if the user input is equal to 1, we're going to go ahead and run the edit task function. If the user input is equal to 2, we're going to go ahead and do the remove task function, and then 3, the clear task list function. And then if it's 4, we'll break out of the loop and go back to our other menu, which would have been here, or we will, if nothing else fails, if you don't give an input we're looking for, then invalid input, continue the loop. For this, sorry, same concept. Okay, so actually let's take a look at the edit task function now within the edit task list function. So you have the edit the task list. You can edit a portion of the list. Maybe we'll add in like just use a clear, remove a task, edit a singular task, or we can now specifically edit a parameter of a specific task itself with the edit task function. So we're going to first loop, we're going to loop over and over again with the while loop, and we're going to print the actual task list. I'll format this later on down the line, probably the last thing I do for displaying the tasks how I want them to, like ordered list. But for now it's fine in just a printed list format of Python list. So we're going to try and get a user input, um, and we're going to do like, which task would you like to edit? Uh, if we don't get the what we're wanting, a value error, via they don't enter in I think I actually need to put the int here so that I require an integer at this step, not down here, converting whatever they gave me. I'm requiring that it is converted beforehand, or I'll get a value error, and I'll be reprompted. So I'm requiring that they give me a number, in the form of a string that I can then convert to an integer. If they don't give me a number, that I can convert, then it will reprompt saying, please enter the task rank slash number. So, um, and then so this selects the number, on the list itself, 1 2 3 4, as it would, but we know that lists start at index 0, so we actually need to reduce that, index down to, put numbered here rather than index. I think that's a better way of saying it. So we take the number that they provided us, 1 2 3 4, so on, in the task list. We reduce that by 1 to get the actual index value. So if they wanted to edit the first, they put 1 for the first, task in our list to edit. It would actually be the index of 0. So we would return, the task to edit index, right? This is where it'd be index, and then we can say index here. So we get the index of that actual task, and then we, use the task to edit, and then we use that index to actually index into our task list, find the which one we're looking for, and save that as a variable of our task to edit. Whew, sounded like a lot full, but it actually wasn't that hard once you kind of wrap your mind around it. So we then prompt the user with another menu where we want them to give us a 1 2 or 3 value for editing the task title or the days to complete, because that's all the parameters that we need to edit for a task list, because everything else is done automatically through backend processing, via our class functions here. So if the user enters 1, we ask for a new title, that we want to assign, and then we index, not index, but we access the title, parameter or attribute, associated to the, within our task to edit that we selected, and then we assign that title to our new title. And then the same thing happens for selecting 2, but for days to complete. And then 3, we break out, obviously, of this loop. 4, if we don't get any one of these inputs, then we need to convert, otherwise. If we don't get any 1 2 or 3, we provide invalid input and continue elsewhere. So I guess I could just say try, get all of this except a value error, right? Print invalid input and continue. So if we don't get, no, we need else. Like this. we don't want to do that. We want to take all of these back one. We want to do else value error, raise value error with this print statement. Right? Quote, user input, right, is invalid. Right, user input is invalid, and then we continue. No, we don't want to raise a value error. We don't want to raise a value error, right? Because we can't continue. That breaks our function. That stops our program. So we need to say try and get user input. I need to say try and get user input, right? Except for a value error. So we'll keep our else statement actually, right? We'll keep it. We'll take our continue out, put except here. Continue. Right? So we're going to raise the value error as an invalid input for documentation purposes, and then if we get the exception of the value error, we'll continue this process. Right? So let me go ahead and try this. This is on the actual for this one. Edit task title 1. Let's say 4. F G 3. So I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna take this while loop and enter it to see if this is even necessary. The value error exception in this case might needed more specific messages and catching invalid inputs to the integer. Okay, so they want try, another try, and then what do they return? Accept value error, print user input. Okay. I see where that would be incorrect. So let me go ahead and just take this back. So we need to try here. Did they? Start a new statement? So the user inputs 2, we want to try and get data from the user in the form of an integer, right? Except a value. Invalid input. Please enter a number. Right. Except for a value, and should we want to continue back? The enter to try and convert there and do this. Say would we need a loop to continue? Where is this going to continue? This statement here. So let me go clear. Let's run. Article. Let's run. Oh. Alright. Edit task. Edit task. 1. JST company. Put F. So this will say true. Try and get this. Except if you get a value, continue trying. Break. Okay. Here. Delete that. So now if we go here, run 1, edit task, which one? Let's do F, invalid input, enter parameter. Okay. Dates complete 2. Let's enter F here. Excuse me, not allowed again. Except for a value error. Please enter a number. In edit task, value error invalid, please enter number. Catching classes that do not hear. The error occurs because the exception clause incorrectly using function call. Okay. So now I don't want to do it when I catch it. Print. Right, okay. One, edit a task. Let's edit the first task. Let's edit dates complete. Let's type in F. Cannot access local variable dates complete where it's not associated with the value. Couldn't do it. So I can't actually do that. Okay, good to know. So edit task, edit the first task, edit dates complete, type in F because it's not a number, invalid input, please enter a number, edit new task. We want to edit it to 100 days. Boom, now I'll exit, 3 exit, 4 exit, view task with 3, as you can see. Why is it not sorting? Why did this? Edit task list, edit a task, edit the first task clean. Why is it not sorting? Sort it before you print. new task with days to complete. New task, this would be 1,000 days to complete. Great, exit. For exit view. Okay. It updates after. Why does it update when I close? I'm just editing the instance. I'm not recreating the instance. So what I would need to do is I would need to set these to functions, call them here, and then also call them when I run this. Yeah. So need to break apart down, need to convert the time delta into a function that can be reused here. And not only the time delta, due date creation and the priority setting to reassign when edited, right? So it's editing them but not updating instances until we write them via saving. So I need to recall those functions here. Setting priority with a function. Because this does not change priority either. At all. Because this should be a 3 priority now. This was always a 3 priority. But this should be 3 now. If I run, I bet you it'll change. Watch. If I run this. to, if I just run and enter the system and read it, and did not. Maybe I just need to actually, instead of make the title change, right? That doesn't have any significant data impacts. Maybe I need to create a new, rather than changing the title, taking the new title, I could remove it from the list. I could remove it and then just recreate the instance with the new title and the remaining yeah, that's probably what I'll do. But anyways, this has been enough for tonight. I'm gonna go in 2 hours. Appreciate you guys stopping by if anyone is there. Been working on this beginner project. It's going pretty good so far. Just gonna keep chugging along, give it a couple hours a day here. I'm gonna try to do a daily streak and see how long I can go, and we'll make it a goal for the channel to keep the streak going as long as possible. Thanks for stopping in, guys, and appreciate it. Check out the videos for the Python crash course. Try it yourselves. I did. I'll be keep coming out with those.